In Our Headphones is made possible in part by Thorntail Hard Agave. Store finder at drinkthorntail.com.
From independent music station KEXP, you're listening to In Our Headphones, a podcast about the songs that we just can't stop listening to. I'm Evie Stokes, and this week I'm talking with prolific artist and producer Adrian Quesada. Thanks, Adrian, for taking the time to chat with us today. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a guitarist, producer, podcaster now. No, I'm just kidding. No, guitarist, producer based in Austin, Texas. I'm originally from Laredo, Texas, which is south of Austin. If you basically go down on the interstate until you hit Mexico, that's where I'm from. I moved to Austin when I was 18 and never went back. So yeah, I'm half border kid, half Austin, Texas kid.
And you've been making music your whole life now?
I started playing guitar when I was maybe 13 or 14 at my dad's insistence. I was obsessed with music, but I was actually, when I was a kid, a visual artist, and I got a degree in painting. Even I used to be a painter. But I was so into music, my dad would always push me into playing music, and he suggested that I take piano lessons. And at that time, I was a skater and like listening to hip hop and too cool for the piano. I was like, oh, piano's for nerds. So I was like, I'll play guitar. And now I'm like, I still joke with my dad about that. I'm like, one of my few regrets in life is that I did not start piano when I was 13, because it's like the best instrument for a musical foundation. But so I started playing guitar around that age.
And what do you play these days? You play guitar, and what else do you play?
I dabble in keys and drums and bass and everything else to get my ideas across, but guitar is what I'm most proficient at, guitar and bass.
Are you still making any visual art today? Still painting?
No. So true story here. I got an art degree. I have a degree in painting. I was an oil painter, and I was already, when I was in college, starting to play in bands and really go towards music, but I didn't want to be in school. I didn't want to change majors, and I didn't want to be there forever. So I was like, I'll just finish my degree and get out of here. I was like two years into it. So I finished it, and I loved painting, but I was a oil painter. The last day of school, somebody broke into my locker and stole all my art supplies. And oil, I don't know if y'all know anything about, like, oil paint supply, it's expensive.
Yeah.
I probably had $1,000 of like art supplies in my locker. I thought one of my teachers grabbed my stuff. I don't know. So I was like asking everybody in the building, and they're like, we can't like open your locker. Somebody broke in and stole it. So we couldn't find it. And I never painted again. I was like, I just literally have not painted oil again. But no, I want to come back to it one day. But yeah, I just was like, to me, that was a sign from the universe where I was like, that's it. They took my art away. Yeah. So I'm going to just focus on music.
All right. Well, you chose a new song that you'd like to share with us today. What you got?
Yeah, I picked a song called Ven a Bailar by Amantes del Futuro. And Amantes del Futuro is basically the moniker of a producer in Mexico, based in Mérida, Mexico, who makes incredible cumbia producer and kind of has brought, connected all the dots with modern cumbia, and that it's kind of like electro. It has that feeling. It's kind of psychedelic. It's kind of, dark wave. I don't even know all the subgenres of synth, dark, whatever anymore, but like it's all these things together with this traditional like sonidero kind of street sound system sound in Mexico. A couple years back, I discovered them kind of a little bit later. I was in Colombia, in the country, and at a record store where I know a guy, and I didn't have that much time, and I was just digging, but I had like 20 minutes, and I was like, you just pull out a bunch of stuff that you think I should have, and I'll sort through it. And he was like, at the top of the list, he put Amantes del Futuro. He's like, you'll love this, trust me. And I put it, and sure enough, I just became obsessed. And now, honored to call him an acquaintance and friend. And so this is an incredible song that I think for a lot of people that are following cumbia music and where it intersects with DJ culture and everything, this song has been a really important one.
Have you been able to see him DJ live?
Yeah, I was a couple of times, and also earlier this year I had a South by Southwest party that kind of came together last minute, but he happened to be in town, so I had him DJ, which was so cool to have him there.
I bet it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
So has this sent you down kind of a path of listening to this kind of music more often?
Yeah, for sure. And I actually was in Mexico City last fall. And are you familiar with those boiler room DJ sessions?
I am, yeah.
So there was a boiler room in Mexico City the night I got into town of all these cumbia DJs, and he was one of them. So I got to go to that like super last minute, and I actually literally was watching it on YouTube yesterday because it was so good. It was such a moment. It felt like history to be there,
Yeah. All right, well, let's listen to it. Do you want to introduce the song for us?
This is Ven a Bailar by Amantes del Futuro.
listen to all the music featured on In Our Headphones by following our In Our Headphones playlists, available on both Spotify and YouTube. KEXP is an independent, nonprofit radio station and arts organization. This podcast, along with all of our programming, is made possible because of the generous support of our listeners. If you'd like to make a gift to KEXP, you can do so at kexp.org. And if you enjoy In Our Headphones, please write us a review wherever you get your podcasts. In Our Headphones is hosted by me, Evie Stokes, and produced by Lilly Anna Fowler. Audio was mastered by William Myers. Serafima Healy provided production support, and our associate editorial director is Dusty Henry. Our theme song is Gospel for a New Century by Eve Toomer. If you have feedback, you can reach us at headphones@kexp.org.